Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What do you know about Russian schools? Total control, best education in the world, AK-47 in the basement? My name is Umar Yusupov and today I'd like to invite you on a quick trip on my simple casual school day. And I'd like to tell you about my school and education in Russian schools in general.
Every person has a special road etched in their heart, one that holds a treasure trove of sweet memories. For me, it's the path I take every morning to school. This road, so familiar yet always so lovely, leads me through the beauty of the city. The trip itself takes around 20 minutes, but it's never boring. Along the way, I'm greeted by Caucasus Mountains standing tall on the horizon and the clear, endless sky overhead. Living in Sochi means being surrounded by nature's brilliance, and every step of this journey reminds me of that. Let's start our day at school.
Okay guys, so we are now at school and the first lesson that we have is social studies.
Social studies in Russian schools explores the foundations of society, governance and rights. In this class we study economic systems, how governments operate and citizens' legal rights under Russian law. It's about understanding the structure of the government, from constitutional principles to global economic relations. Lessons often include case studies and discussions to apply these ideas to real-life situations, helping to become informed and responsible citizens. My class teacher is the teacher of social studies, Russian history and global history.
So now we're at school. We study 5 days a week and every day we have around 7 lessons. Now it's time of lesson, that's why it's so quiet here. Each lesson is 40 minutes and the breaks are from 10 to 20 minutes. What do you think about it? We are going to literature now.
The teacher was talking so monotonously that I've almost fallen asleep.
Хотя любовь, дружба, долг и другие вечные ценности оставались такими же, но изменилось отношение.
Interesting fact about education in Russia. Did you know that all students from the 1st grade to 11th grade, they all study in one school? There is no Russian public school only for elementary, primary or high school students. We all study together and in our school there are around 1,500 students. Can you imagine it? I think that's something unusual for Europe and for USA. In each class there are around 30 to 40 students. Elementary and high school students study at 8 o'clock and secondary school comes here at 1 p.m. Now we have English lesson, let's go.
Next was our English lesson. I've already talked about learning English in Russian schools in a previous video, and I hope that you've already seen it.
Let me ask you one question, Pavel. First of all, introduce yourself. What's your name? What do you like also about this school? For example, I like about this school is the holes in the fence. Do you know? If you want, you can go out and nobody sees you. What do you think about it?
It would be just better if we could leave at any point through the main gate.
How many people can speak English in our school, in our class?
Probably like two.
2 people, me and you, yes? Okay guys, and now let's talk about the control in Russian schools. Part of the reason why I'm telling you all these things is because of many myths that people have about schools in Russia. Yes, there is control, and it's much harder than in many European or American schools. But it's not as hard as many people imagine it to be. Yes, white shirt and black trousers are required, but not all students follow this rule. Almost everyone is breaking this rule, and the teachers, they're used to see it and they can't always argue and they can't always say and mention and remind students of it. But there are some schools in other cities, not in Sochi but in other cities, where the control is really total, where you can't even make a step aside, if this word is correct. So the summary is, yes, there is control, but it's not as hard as many people imagine it to be. My favorite football players are here again. I'm glad to see them. They didn't play for a while. Every school in Russia has an AK-47 in its basement. True or false? Actually, that's one of the most common myths that people have about schools in Russia. I can't say that that's complete true or complete false. Yes, we do have 3 AK-47 in our school. But they're only samples, they're not real. But we also have a real grenade launcher in our school. You can touch it, you can take it if the teacher doesn't see you. But of course we don't use those military things at the school's backyard. All those military things are part of the lesson that's called OBJ. basics of safety and survival, where we mostly just talk, sometimes we assemble and reassemble the AK, but I can't film it because the teacher doesn't like it completely.
Our next lesson was chemistry, and today we had a practical session. The teacher demonstrated a reaction between zinc and sulfuric acid, producing some gas. I even got to try some experiments myself, although I have to admit I don't understand anything of what's happening. At lunch I went to the cafeteria and got a plate of buckwheat and a portion of salt just for 45 rubles, around 50 cents. The prices here are so much lower than at any regular cafe, making school meals both affordable and filling. After that we had math, and today's lesson was a test on logarithms. They say math education in the US is weaker compared to ours, but I'm curious if that's true. If any of my American viewers are in high school, you can let me know if you've studied logarithms. I even filmed some of the test tasks for you to try to solve it. What do you think about it?
ln это, по-моему, это ln, там формула была какая-то, как ln становится? And now let's talk about education in Russian schools. So it takes you 11 years to finish the school completely. Or you can leave the school after the 9th grade if you feel that further education is hard for you and you want to go to some college, for example. But of course, you will get a diploma that you finished only 9 grades. Okay guys, so this is the last shot of my vlog about Russian public school. I hope you enjoyed it. Learn something new about education in Russian schools in general. But of course, I made lots of mistakes. I didn't tell you everything I wanted to tell you about. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Learn something new about this place. I wanted to make more shots with my classmates. Okay, but we have what we have. Hope you enjoyed it. I missed you for a long time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.